actors who have done intimate acts, kissing, making out, sex, etc. How was your experience with it? Did anything happen between you and the other person off stage? Once. It's pretty common for actors to get entangled with castmates, often only to realize after a few weeks or months that they were into the character, not the actor. I had a kiss scene in my elementary school play of Sleeping Beauty. During practice, I would always fake the kiss, but always assume during the real play it would be real for greater effect. Opening night, I kissed her for real. The huge "ooh" she shrieked was definitely not in the script. I was in a production of Fools by Neil Simon right out of college. I had a kissing scene with a girl, and after our first rehearsal we had this conversation. Her, that was my first kiss. Me, yeah, that was my first stage kiss too. Her, no, that was my first kiss. Me, I just wrapped a show on Saturday where I have to kiss my co-star a couple of times. It's weird, but honestly after the first couple of shows it just becomes part of your character and it doesn't mean anything to the actual actors. The audience really got into it, though, lots of "oh my" and "ooh." I did a fake porn scene on The Boys. It was a pretty intense scene, sexually, and quite intimidating once I was on set having to do the deed. It's interesting how you can shut off the part of your brain that doubts what you are about to do and turn on the "fuck it" part of your brain and just do what needs to be done. See what I did there? Anyway, yeah, it was a closed set, meaning only the essential crew members are allowed to even be in the room while shooting. A good crew is going to make you feel pretty comfortable and safe while shooting. My scene partner and I hit it off pretty well and had a good laugh about it all, but that was as far as it went. But it's not like the scene was some kind of romantic moment between two characters. It was porn and I was playing a cheesy version of Homelander, so it was more just fun than anything else. Thankfully I have a very supportive wife. I was in a short film where I got a BJ. You could only see me from the chest up with a head bobbing up and down in my lap. When we were getting ready to start filming, the woman who was providing the bobbing head knelt down in front of me and I immediately turned bright red. I got lightheaded from the heavy breathing I had to do for multiple takes and had to sit for a while after we were done. I'm friends with the woman and her brothers. She played another role and had shown the movie to her family. I didn't realize that they didn't know that it was her that had also been the bobbing head. One of her brothers was teasing me about that scene and I said, "How was it watching your sister give me a BJ?" This probably doesn't count at all, but in high school I did a short scene where I was the groom and a girl I had a crush on was the bride at our wedding ceremony. I had to write the scene myself, so I wrote it in that we'd hold hands while the priest gave his little speech. Pretty normal. When we performed it I realized I had made the priest's speech way too long, and I stood there holding this girl's hands who I had barely ever talked to for so much longer than I thought it would be, and I couldn't look anywhere except the priest because I thought gazing into her eyes, while in character, would just be so awkward. There was no kissing or anything, but damn, holding her hands for that long made me so nervous and embarrassed for writing that one monologue so long. We didn't really talk ever again, but probably because I was an antisocial loser. Amateur here, but yeah. We did a full-on sex scene for a short film. The actress and I were both happily married to other people. She was a bit squigged out at first because I had a reputation, fairly, that predate my marriage. That said, she quickly got over it. It just took a few rehearsals for her and I to get things looking good. I wore shorts, she wore shorts and a taped-on bra thingy. We stage kissed. We groped SFW areas of our bodies. Creative camera angles and blanket usage kept things looking good without going full frontal. She and I were both mildly embarrassed before and after. The flushed cheeks and that emotion probably helped the performance. Most embarrassing thing for me was I got stiff. Still, it went away before the blanket did and nobody talked about it. She and I chatted about it later and she wasn't bothered by that. She had been more worried about accidentally knocking me there with her knee. Exciting yes, sexy no. I was in a high school play once where I had to kiss my co-lead. In rehearsal, everything was fine. Come opening night, he shoved his tongue down my throat and every student was whopping and hollering. It was mortifying. I had a boyfriend at the time and was raised in a religious household. Safe to say I don't think I even knew that was an option when kissing and I was so embarrassed. As you'd expect, I got the whispers of being a flirt and whore. Co-lead got high fives. I refused to talk to him after that and would tell anyone who listened that he was a gross, creepy senior who took advantage of a sophomore because people his own age didn't want anything to do with him. No idea where he's at now. I don't even know the last time I thought about him. I'll never forget the look on my dad's face though. Edit. The play was Flowers for Algernon and I was the teacher. It was supposed to be a very gentle, goodbye kiss. This was more like he was going to mount me any second. I did one intimate stage scene in the full buff with a lady. We were good friends and had decent chemistry but were just friends. However, the lady who oiled me up before the scene got pretty hot and bothered and by the end of the production pretty well had me convinced to jump in bed with her. It was a nice few weeks but we eventually decided it was purely physical so we should end it while ahead. It was just a peck. The actress was the director's GF though so that made it a little strange but also very easy to just do it for the scene. It didn't even make the cut lol so man shrugging. Years before I did a stage play in HS though and kissed a girl on the cheek for the first time. Was over the fucking moon when I went home to Maui. Not me, but an ex of mine. She did a heavy makeout scene for a low-budget film. Full on kissing, grabbing, rubbing, on top of a car hood. She and the dude practiced, over and over, till they were comfortable with it just being objective actions. If my memory is correct, they practiced for like 2 hours. I know this sounds like a weird situation, but it worked. When it came time to shoot the thing, they just went at it, just as they'd practiced, and got through it in, I think, 2 takes. I only did one play that involved a kiss, and nothing happened. She was one of my best friends, so we made a game out of it and decided to try to make each other throw up. During intermission, she and I would eat something we thought would make the kiss the worst possible, garlic, fried chicken, etc. Winner each night bought the loser a beer. Have a brother who was in a play. His character falls in love with another in the story. He's engaged to the actor who played that other character now. In high school I had to kiss a girl on stage. I was a big fat stupid ogre and a typical teenage edgelord. She was a tiny little thing and the sweetest girl I ever met. Loved Jesus and Disney movies and was kind to everybody she came across no matter what. I legit improvised it into me kissing her on the cheek because I felt so dirty and undeserving of touching this poor girl, and even then, I didn't actually make contact. The romance wasn't a central plot, the kiss was kind of just a throwaway, not a big moment, so nobody minded really, though I did catch some flack from my director. She said it was okay to do a stage kiss, but I honestly think she was a little relieved I wasn't going for it. Nothing ever happened obviously. I caught shit from some friends who wanted to get with her, but it just didn't feel right to kiss her, even for acting. I have had a handful of stage kisses makeouts, none of which turned into anything. Always felt like just another part of the gig. Dance scene partners, however, have turned out more interestingly. Everyone you listen to that has done an intimate scene on stage on film will tell you there is nothing sexy about it. You get used to it and being professional about it becomes easier over time, but it's not rare to develop a thing over the time of production. Also not rare for these things to not last very long. I've had a couple scenes where I kissed someone, it never turned into anything. The main one was for a scene I was doing for a theater competition, and my partner was also in the competition. The person I kissed for the scene was a friend of ours also. We all hung out together and it didn't bother my partner and didn't turn into anything. The other production I was in, I was like 18 and had to kiss a 14-year-old, and that was just uncomfortable.